Earthquakes have woken up Korcha residents this morning, leaving 2 injured and 12 houses damaged, while residents themselves claim they are afraid to go back in their homes. The head of the Albanian government, Edi Rama, has written his 7th letter, but this time not to DP chair Luzim Basha, as he calls upon Democrats not to disrupt the process or they will be criminally responsible. Albanian citizens have withdrawn their money from deposits, according to the Bank of Albania, which shows that deposits fell by 4.6 billion lek in April compared to the previous month. Good evening. It's 6:04 on Saturday, the 1st of June, 2019. Thank you for tuning in to rtvOra's English edition. My name is Oliver, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. Up first tonight, Korcha residents woke up this morning by strong earthquake and many aftershocks which were repeated over several hours. The first tremor was felt at around 6:27 a.m. with a magnitude of 5.3 on the Richter scale and a depth of 4 kilometers. As a result, 2 people were injured in the village of Floch and were immediately sent to the hospital to receive medical treatment. Residents were injured by the collapse of bricks that had been detached from cracked walls. Meanwhile, about 12 dwellings were damaged in the villages of Vidahova, Floch, and Dvorana. In the city of Korcha, several apartment buildings suffered from the cracks in the walls and are currently at risk of collapsing. Alarmed by the situation, residents are staying outside of their homes in fear of any other possible earthquakes. Some residents have compared this earthquake to that of the year of 1961. Vibrations were even felt in Erseka and Pogradec, while the epicenter of the earthquake was 12 kilometers between Korcha and Erseka in the village of Molas. Next up, Prime Minister Edi Rama has written another public letter, but this time it's not addressed to the Democratic Party leader Luzim Basha. The 7th public letter of the head of government addresses Democratic citizens, whereby Rama states that the party they have voted for will not take part in the elections as it is afraid of justice reform. He describes the opposition's decision as a dead-end road to the detriment of any citizen who wants peace and social development, stating, "Fellow Democratic citizens, today the Socialist Party officially launches the June 30th election campaign. While the party to which you belong as a member or which you have voted for as a supporter or sympathizer does not participate in these elections. Unfortunately, not only for you, but also for the country, your political leadership has entered a dead-end road as they are afraid of elections and justice reform, taking the path of threats and desperate attempts to the detriment of Albania and every Albanian interested in social peace, economic development, and full integration of the country into the European Union." According to Rama, the opposition's decision to abandon the parliament, to incite violence and boycott the elections are essentially an escape from the mission, function, and framework of the values of a Democratic Party. Among other things, in the letter addressed to Democratic Party supporters, Prime Minister Rama says they are already abandoned by their leader, adding that Basha does not participate in the elections because he is afraid of the next electoral defeat. He stated, "Elections are a non-negotiable constitutional right of all those who want to vote and an inevitable constitutional obligation of all those who want to be elected. Your leadership does not want to participate in elections because it is afraid of the next electoral defeat." Rama also responded to one of the most important questions from the public: can democratic elections be held without an opposition? Rama wrote that democratic elections mean that everyone has the right to be elected, but if there is an exclusion in any form of an opposition from the elections, this, in Rama's words, makes them anti-democratic. However, the self-exclusion of a major party from the elections does not make them undemocratic. Moving on now, despite the calls for dialogue by Prime Minister Edi Rama, even on the opening day of the electoral campaign, the opposition still declines to participate in the local elections. Just a few hours after the publication of the 7th letter by Prime Minister addressed to Democrats, the DP chair Luzim Basha stated that any step backwards will not be made for the liberation of the country from evil. The deputy chair of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Petrit Vasili, stated that the Prime Minister would return to the monist system where only one party could vote. Regarding the call that the Prime Minister addressed to Democratic Party supporters, even the former DP MP and Khaled Ali Bey reacted. He wrote that Edi Rama thinks that he will be able to subdue citizens with intense blackmail and threats, while on the other hand continue to steal and impoverish the country. The Bank of Albania has noted that bank deposits have declined over the last several months. According to data from April of 2011, 4.6 billion lek has been withdrawn from the second-tier banks, mainly from individuals. The fall of deposits continues for the second consecutive month of this year, while the total deposits in the country, according to the Bank of Albania, are 998.5 billion lek, down from 1 trillion lek a month earlier. The savings among Albanian citizens has decreased in both the Albanian currency and foreign currencies. According to experts, the main impact on the situation are the low interest rates for Albanian deposits, while deposits in euros continue to hold the main weight in the Albanian banking system. Furthermore, loan guarantees to the Albanian economy have also decreased for the first time this year. The Bank of Albania notes that loans have fallen by 1.5 billion lek. Loans are reduced both in lek and in euros despite all the initiatives undertaken by the central bank. Just a few days ago, the governor, Gent Seko, appealed that the banking sector should undertake additional steps to broaden the range of credit products for businesses that have the highest return opportunities. During 2018, the banking sector issued 1.1 billion euros of credit to finance the economy. Beach season in Vlora has already begun. With rising temperatures, citizens as well as domestic and foreign vacationers have been flocking to the coast this weekend to get some of the first rays of the summer. Warm temperatures and sunny weather have allowed vacationers to enjoy the southern coast. Notably, tourists from Kosovo, Italy, and Russia have already chosen to spend their vacations in Vlora during the spring. But despite low tourist numbers thus far, tourists seem to be completely happy with Vlora. One tourist saying, "The sea is very beautiful. Although it is still in development, it has changed a lot since 2006, which was the last time I came here on vacation." Vlora remains one of the most preferred alternatives for local and foreign tourists, offering clean seashores as well as many beaches. And finally tonight, people with disabilities find it difficult to get around on the streets of Vlora. In most streets and institutions, there are not even wheelchair ramps. According to the law of 2015 outlining the responsibility and implementation of tasks for all institutions for accessibility of persons with disabilities, Vlora still has not taken action to accommodate those with disabilities, complained Hussein Muhameti, a citizen of Vlora. For Muhameti, being paraplegic in a city that still has not accommodated its citizens with limited mobility, getting around the city or even into state institutions is almost impossible. Although the law forces every institution and business to create access for people with disabilities, it appears that in Vlora, this obligation has not been implemented. Most wheelchair ramps are completely missing. On Kosovo Street in Vlora, there is no access for people with disabilities. There is no wheelchair ramp. Even those ramps that are made along the Trans-Balkan Road or other roads are far below the standards required. You may just be injured if you cross the road, said Muhameti. Muhameti stresses that the difficulties for people with disabilities is increasing every day, stating, "We cannot get service, we cannot complain to anyone to get what we need because many of us live alone." Despite the legitimacy for equal opportunities, the social policies have not yet been created to address the needs of paraplegics or the needs of the disabled to move freely within their own cities. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you so much for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of rtvora, thank you and have a great weekend.